Yes, it may not be a romantic comedy. It might be more of a, Walking Dead movie, actually. As far as I am concerned, I don't know.
When you gave her your phone number...
What happens when love crosses not just borders, but decades? In today's video, 20 celebrity marriages with the creepiest age gaps, we're diving into the most jaw-dropping romances that left everyone talking. From Hollywood legends finding love with someone young enough to be their grandchild, to couples who proved that age is just a number. These stories are as shocking as they are fascinating. Stick with us till the very end, because some of these relationships have wild twists you won't believe. Ready to get started? Let's dive deep into these unbelievable celebrity love stories. Patrick Stewart and Sunny Ozel. When Sir Patrick Stewart walked into a restaurant in New York back in 2008, he didn't know he was about to meet the love of his life. Sunny Ozel, a singer and waitress at the time, caught his attention immediately. Despite being 38 years younger, their chemistry was undeniable. Patrick once said, "I knew very quickly this was not a casual thing." Their connection was instant, built on deep conversations, laughter, and a love for art and music. Their relationship moved slowly at first. Patrick was already a world-famous actor from Star Trek and X-Men, while Sunny was still carving out her path in the music world. But none of that seemed to matter. They both admired and encouraged each other's passions. In 2013, they made it official with a small wedding in Nevada. And the best part? Patrick's best friend, Ian McKellen, actually officiated the ceremony. Their love truly felt like something out of a movie. Sunny embraced Patrick's sci-fi fame, often appearing with him at conventions and fan events. Patrick, in return, became one of her biggest fans, attending her performances and promoting her work. Their bond wasn't just romantic, it was also a partnership. As Stewart put it in an interview, "There's no sense of division or difference in our lives because of age." Today, their marriage is filled with humor, mutual respect, and playful moments, often shared on social media. Whether they're cuddling up with their dogs or posting funny quarantine videos, it's clear they've built a joyful, unbreakable bond. Their story proves that sometimes love doesn't care about numbers, it only cares about hearts that beat together. While Patrick and Sunny's relationship feels like a heartwarming fairy tale, not all love stories begin with instant sparks. Sometimes, a connection slowly builds into something lasting and magical. Just like it did for another Hollywood legend who found love much later in life. Let's move into our next story, the incredible marriage between Dick Van Dyke and Arlene Silver. Dick Van Dyke and Arlene Silver. When Dick Van Dyke first met Arlene Silver at the SAG Awards in 2006, he was already 81 years old, and she was just 35. Working as a makeup artist at the event, Arlene caught Dick's eye, and the two struck up an easy friendship. Dick later confessed, "I just fell in love with her immediately." Their bond grew stronger over time, and before long, friendship blossomed into love. By 2012, they tied the knot in a quiet ceremony in Malibu. Despite their 46-year age gap, their connection was undeniable. Dick often credits Arlene for his renewed energy and zest for life. "She keeps me young," he jokes in interviews. The couple's vibrant spirit is contagious, from singing and dancing videos to joyful holiday snapshots. It's clear their relationship is built on pure fun and devotion. Arlene has embraced Dick's legendary Hollywood past, but also carved out a unique role in his present. Whether helping with his performances or simply supporting him through life's everyday ups and downs, Arlene stands firmly by his side. Their partnership is an inspiring reminder that love can spark fresh beginnings, no matter your age. Even now, in his late 90s, Dick Van Dyke still performs, dances, and smiles wider than ever, and he always credits Arlene for being the heartbeat behind his happiness. Their story shows that sometimes love doesn't just defy the odds, it rewrites them completely. From an accidental meeting at an award show to an inspiring life together, Dick and Arlene prove that timing is everything. But what happens when two lives cross paths years earlier and only later bloom into romance? That's exactly the story of our next couple. David Foster and Catherine McPhee, whose journey took over a decade to truly begin. David Foster and Catherine McPhee. Their story actually started way back in 2006 on the set of American Idol, where David Foster mentored young singer Katharine McPhee. At the time, she was a rising star, and he was already a music industry giant. Though there was no romance then, the two developed a strong friendship. Reflecting on it, David once said, "I just admired her talent and her energy." Over the next decade, their paths crossed many times professionally, but it wasn't until 2017 that whispers of a romantic connection started swirling. They kept things private at first, but by 2018, David proposed during a romantic trip to Italy. Katharine shared later, "It took me a while to realize that he was the love of my life." Their wedding in 2019 in London was a beautiful, intimate affair surrounded by family and close friends. Despite their 34-year age gap, their bond has only strengthened, especially through their shared love of music. The couple often performs together, blending their talents in a way that feels effortless. In 2021, they welcomed their first child together, a son named Rennie. For David, already a father of 5 grown children, starting over as a dad at 71 was a joyous new adventure. Their story is not just about second chances, it's about trusting the right timing. Katharine often says, "David makes me feel so loved and understood." Their relationship proves that love sometimes takes a winding road, but when it arrives, it's absolutely worth the wait. And speaking of relationships that blossomed despite major differences, our next couple faced not only a huge age gap, but the added pressures of fame and controversy. Let's dive into the whirlwind love story of Alec Baldwin and Hilaria Baldwin. Alec Baldwin and Hilaria Baldwin. When Alec Baldwin met Hilaria Thomas at a New York restaurant in 2011, it was a moment that would change both of their lives. Despite a 26-year age gap, the connection was immediate. Alec once recalled, "I fell in love with her pretty hard." Hilaria, a yoga instructor and wellness expert, brought a calm energy into Alec's often chaotic celebrity life, and they quickly became inseparable. In 2012, just a year after meeting, Alec and Hilaria tied the knot in a beautiful ceremony at the Basilica of St. Patrick's Old Cathedral in Manhattan. Their wedding fused Hollywood glamour with Hilaria's Spanish heritage, showing the world that love can bridge even the woodest gaps, whether cultural or generational. Hilaria said in an interview, "We were meant to find each other. It just took some time." Over the years, the couple has built a bustling family, welcoming 7 children together by 2022. Alec, already a father to Ireland Baldwin from his previous marriage to Kim Basinger, embraced fatherhood again with enthusiasm. "Through all the sleepless nights and diaper changes," he often says, "nothing makes me happier than being home with my kids." Their family life, filled with laughter and love, often spills onto social media, giving fans glimpses into their joyful chaos. Despite facing media controversies, from Hilaria's heritage scandal to Alec's highly publicized legal battles, their bond has remained firm. They focus on their marriage and children, tuning out the noise. Through every challenge, Hilaria's unwavering support has been Alec's anchor. Their story proves that a strong foundation of trust and love can weather even the wildest storms. As we've seen with Alec and Hilaria, real love often means standing together even when the world is against you. But what happens when love crosses not just decades, but generations? Let's move into the next story, one that raised many eyebrows when it first made headlines. Here's how Dennis Quaid found his happily ever after with Laura Savoy. Dennis Quaid and Laura Savoy. Dennis Quaid, the beloved star of The Parent Trap and The Day After Tomorrow, surprised the world when he fell for Laura Savoy, a PhD student nearly 40 years his junior. They met at a business event in 2019 and instantly clicked. Dennis described their meeting as love at first sight, a sentiment that seemed almost too good to be true given their massive age gap. Only a few months later, Dennis proposed to Laura during a trip to Hawaii. He recalled, "It was kind of spontaneous. It was very much a surprise for her. The moment wasn't just impulsive, it was heartfelt and real." In 2020, amid the COVID-19 pandemic, they exchanged vows in a quiet ceremony in Santa Barbara, keeping it simple and intimate, just the two of them and their dreams for the future. Laura, who was working on her PhD in accounting at the time, brought a groundedness that Dennis deeply admired. He often speaks about how her intelligence and sense of humor keep him feeling young. Meanwhile, Laura praises Dennis for his adventurous spirit and warm heart. She once said, "He makes me laugh every single day." Their bond is built on a beautiful balance of wisdom and youthful energy. Though some critics pointed to their age difference, Dennis has always shrugged it off with grace. "I didn't go out looking for an age gap or someone really younger than me," he explained. "I just met someone I fell in love with." Their story reminds us that sometimes love finds you when you least expect it, and it doesn't care about numbers. While Dennis and Laura's story feels like a modern fairy tale, our next couple faced the enormous pressure of fame from the very beginning. Let's now explore how Michael Douglas and Catherine Zeta-Jones turned a 25-year age gap into one of Hollywood's most celebrated marriages. Michael Douglas and Catherine Zeta-Jones. When Michael Douglas first met Catherine Zeta-Jones at the Deauville Film Festival in France in 1998, he made a bold move. Famously, he told her, "I want to father your children." It could have been a disaster, but instead, it marked the beginning of one of Hollywood's most enduring love stories, despite a 25-year age gap. Their romance moved quickly, and by 1999, they were officially a couple. In 2000, they hosted a lavish wedding at the Plaza Hotel in New York City, reportedly costing over $1.5 million. Their ceremony was a who's who of Hollywood royalty, but beneath all the glitz, there was genuine affection and mutual admiration. Michael once said, "When you see Catherine, you really can't help but fall in love with her." The couple welcomed 2 children, Dylan and Karis, building a life that prioritized family over fame. Through career highs and personal battles, including Michael's battle with cancer and their brief separation in 2013, their bond stayed strong. Catherine once reflected, "We've had ups and downs like everyone, but we always find our way back to each other." Now, after over 2 decades together, Michael and Catherine continue to support each other in every aspect of life. Their story shows that even in a town as fickle as Hollywood, real love, built on respect, humor, and resilience, can last a lifetime. Harrison Ford and Callista Flockhart. When Harrison Ford and Callista Flockhart first met at the 2002 Golden Globe Awards, no one expected sparks to fly. Ford was 59, already a Hollywood legend, and Callista, at 38, was the darling of TV's Ally McBeal. Yet against all odds, and a 22-year age gap, they connected. Harrison later joked, "She spilled a drink on me, and the rest is history." Their relationship developed slowly but surely. They took their time building trust and understanding each other's worlds. After nearly 8 years of dating, Harrison proposed during a quiet Valentine's Day weekend in 2009. They married the following year in an intimate ceremony in New Mexico, proving that love doesn't have to be rushed to be real. Callista once shared, "We took it slow because we knew this was for keeps." Beyond their glamorous careers, their focus has always been family. Callista had adopted her son, Liam, shortly before meeting Harrison. Ford embraced the role of stepfather wholeheartedly, calling fatherhood the best job I've ever had. They've built a grounded, family-centered life, far away from the flashing lights of Hollywood, valuing privacy and simplicity over fame. Even today, after 2 decades together, Harrison and Callista's bond remains strong. Through Harrison's adventurous stunts and Callista's steady support, they have proven that love isn't about headline. It's about laughter, trust, and being there for each other no matter what. As Ford once said, "Love is when the chaos calms, when you find your person." Harrison and Callista showed us that taking things slow can sometimes build the strongest foundations. Now, let's turn to another iconic romance, a bachelor-turned-husband story that had all of Hollywood talking. Get ready to hear how George Clooney finally met his match in Amal Clooney. George Clooney and Amal Clooney. For years, George Clooney was Hollywood's most eligible bachelor, famously vowing never to marry again. But everything changed in 2013 when he met Amal Alamuddin, a brilliant human rights lawyer. Despite a 17-year age difference, George was immediately captivated. He once admitted, "I knew from the minute I met her that something was different." Their whirlwind romance was a surprise even to close friends. Within months, George proposed, on bended knee, with a ring hidden inside a candlelit dinner setting. Amal said yes, and in 2014, they married in a stunning Venetian ceremony attended by A-list celebrities. It was clear this wasn't just a Hollywood fling. George once said, "I've never been happier in my life." Their marriage has been built on mutual respect and shared values. While George continued his successful acting and directing career, Amal fought tirelessly for human rights around the world. Despite their busy lives, they made time for each other and prioritized their relationship. In 2017, they welcomed twins, Ella and Alexander, turning Clooney into a first-time dad at 56. "It's a joy I never imagined," George shared with a smile. Today, George and Amal's partnership remains one of Hollywood's most admired love stories. Whether advocating for justice or raising their children, they stand side by side. Their story proves that real love doesn't just sweep you off your feet. It inspires you to become the best version of yourself. From red carpets to courtrooms, George and Amal Clooney showed that love can elevate both people to new heights. But sometimes, true love also means standing strong through health battles and life's unexpected challenges. Let's now uncover the heartwarming journey of Bruce Willis and Emma Hemming. Bruce Willis and Emma Hemming. Bruce Willis, the action hero of Die Hard fame, found lasting love with model and entrepreneur Emma Hemming. Despite a 23-year age gap, their relationship has been a true partnership built on loyalty, laughter, and resilience. As Bruce once said, "Love is about finding the one person who completes your soul, and Emma is mine." The two first met in 2007 at a mutual friend's gym, and by 2009, they were married in a small, heartfelt ceremony in the Caribbean. Over the years, their bond only grew stronger, welcoming two daughters, Mabel and Evelyn, into their lives. Bruce, already a father from his previous marriage to Demi Moore, embraced the role of a dad once again with endless enthusiasm. Emma often shares, "He's the most loving, playful father anyone could imagine." Life wasn't without its hardships. In recent years, Bruce has faced serious health challenges, including a diagnosis of frontotemporal dementia, FTD. Through it all, Emma has remained his rock. She's publicly advocated for awareness, sharing their story with courage and love. Her words, "I will stand by him every step of the way," have touched hearts around the world. Their love story reminds us that real romance isn't just about the good times. It's about loyalty when times get tough. Bruce and Emma show the world that when love is rooted in deep friendship and devotion, it can survive even the harshest storms. Together, they have turned life's hardest battles into a living testament to love's true strength. Mel Gibson and Rosalind Ross. When Mel Gibson and Rosalind Ross first stepped out together in 2014, eyebrows immediately raised. With a 35-year age gap between them, many thought their relationship wouldn't survive Hollywood's critical gaze. But both Mel and Rosalind stayed unfazed. Mel once said, "When you find someone who brings calm into your chaos, you don't question it." Rosalind, a former champion equestrian and a talented screenwriter, brought a new peace into Mel's often turbulent life. The couple's bond strengthened over time, and in 2017, they welcomed their first child together, a son named Lars. Despite Mel already being a father of 8 from previous relationships, he embraced fatherhood with Rosalind with a renewed sense of joy and purpose. "Parenting never gets old. It only gets better," he shared in an interview. Throughout their relationship, Rosalind has remained quietly strong, staying out of the tabloids and focusing on their family life. Her calm and steady nature has balanced Mel's intense Hollywood persona, making their relationship appear surprisingly ordinary away from the cameras. In public, they've kept appearances minimal, focusing more on raising their family and nurturing a private life outside the chaos of fame. Today, Mel and Rosalind's bond stands as a testament that age gaps don't define love. The bond, respect, and emotional understanding do. Through scandal, public judgment, and the pressures of celebrity life, They have proven that true partnerships are about healing and growing together, not about meeting others' expectations. Mel and Rosalind's journey reminds us that sometimes the deepest connections are the ones most judged from the outside. But what happens when love blooms between two people who come from completely different worlds, like a rock legend and a former Olympic gymnast? Let's dive into the unforgettable story of Jeff Goldblum and Emily Livingston. Jeff Goldblum and Emily Livingston. Jeff Goldblum, Hollywood's king of quirky charm, met his perfect match in Emily Livingston, a Canadian Olympic rhythmic gymnast 30 years his junior. Their worlds couldn't have been more different, but when they met in 2011 at a gym, their connection was instant. As Jeff put it, "She made my heart do somersaults, literally and figuratively." The two bonded over their shared love of movement, performance, and an adventurous spirit. After 3 years of dating, Jeff proposed to Emily in 2014, and they married later that year in a beautiful, intimate ceremony. Jeff, well into his 60s at the time, embraced the new chapter of his life with the excitement of a man half his age. He gushed, "I hit the jackpot with her." Their relationship only blossomed further when they became parents. In 2015 and 2017, they welcomed 2 sons, Charlie Ocean and River Joe. Parenthood at an older age didn't slow Jeff down one bit. Instead, he reveled in it, sharing, "I'm a late bloomer, but fatherhood has been the best performance of my life." Emily, graceful and strong, shifted her world seamlessly to prioritize family, while still indulging her love for dance and yoga. Their marriage thrives on creativity, laughter, and a zest for life. Whether it's sharing sweet family moments on Instagram or appearing together at red carpet events, Jeff and Emily's love story is a refreshing reminder that when two people truly connect, the difference in years becomes nothing more than a number. Jeff and Emily proved that when life's rhythms align, love can be a graceful dance across all odds. Now, let's move to another timeless leading man who found not just love, but a whole new life chapter with a woman decades his junior. Here's the romantic journey of Richard Gere and Alejandra Silva. Richard Gere and Alejandra Silva. Richard Gere has been Hollywood's leading man for decades, but it wasn't until later in life that he found what he calls a love I never imagined. In 2014, Gere reconnected with Spanish publicist Alejandra Silva, who is 34 years younger than him. Their instant emotional connection changed both their lives forever. Despite coming from different cultures and generations, Richard and Alejandra bonded over their shared passion for humanitarian work. Alejandra once said, "We're not only connected by love, but also by a commitment to help others." Their relationship quickly deepened, and by 2018, they sealed their love in an intimate wedding at Gere's ranch in upstate New York. Their marriage brought immense joy into Gere's life, who once admitted that he felt like the happiest man in the universe. The couple soon welcomed 2 sons, making Richard a father again in his 70s. Far from slowing him down, the new chapter energized him. He often says fatherhood now is more mindful, more present, and more grateful than it ever was before. Through public scrutiny and busy lives, Richard and Alejandra's bond has remained strong and inspiring. They have continued their humanitarian efforts together, proving that when love is rooted in a shared mission, it becomes even more powerful. Their story is not just about love defying age, but about 2 souls finding each other at exactly the right time, no matter what the calendar says. Billy Joel and Alexis Roderick. Billy Joel, the piano man himself, surprised fans when he married Alexis Roderick in 2015. With a 33-year age gap between them, many didn't know what to expect. But this wasn't a whirlwind romance. Billy and Alexis had spent years quietly building a solid bond before saying, "I do." Billy once said, "She's the balance I never knew I needed." They first met at a restaurant in 2009. Alexis, then a Morgan Stanley executive and accomplished equestrian, wasn't starstruck. Instead, they connected over shared interests like boating, horses, and a mutual love of quiet living, quite different from Billy's earlier high-profile marriages. The low-key nature of their relationship allowed them to really get to know each other away from media glare. Their wedding was a surprise to even their closest friends. Held on July 4th at Billy's Long Island estate, the intimate ceremony was officiated by New York Governor Andrew Cuomo. It wasn't about glitz and glamour. It was about family and new beginnings. Not long after, Alexis gave birth to their two daughters, Della Rose and Remy Ann, giving Billy a new role, fatherhood in his 60s. Billy often says this phase of his life is his happiest. In his words, "I'm finally living the life I always wanted, just later than expected." Whether it's riding horses together or raising their girls away from Hollywood noise, Billy and Alexis have shown that love isn't about the numbers. It's about finding someone who makes even the simplest moments extraordinary. Billy Joel's second act in love reminds us that sometimes happiness finds you when you least expect it, even after years in the spotlight. But now, let's move from the Piano Man's sweet symphony to the story of a comedy legend who found lasting love with a much younger partner. Eddie Murphy and Paige Butcher. Eddie Murphy has been making audiences laugh for decades, but his love story with Paige Butcher is much quieter than his larger-than-life career. With an 18-year age gap between them, their relationship defies Hollywood's chaotic norms in the most refreshing way. Eddie once said, "Paige brought a peacefulness into my life I never had before." The couple first crossed paths in 2012. And from the start, Paige preferred to keep their relationship out of the public eye. A model and actress herself, Paige was used to attention, but chose instead to live quietly beside Eddie, away from the noise and drama. Their low-profile approach helped them build a genuine, lasting bond. In 2016, they welcomed their first daughter, Izzy, and then their son, Max Charles, in 2018, named in honor of Eddie's late brother, Charlie Murphy. Parenthood only brought them closer, with Eddie proudly stepping into the role of a devoted father yet again. He once joked, "People think having 10 kids is crazy, but for me, it's just Tuesday." Though they've been together for over a decade, Eddie and Paige haven't rushed down the aisle, choosing instead to prioritize their family life. Their relationship shows that for some couples, it's not about headlines or public milestones, it's about private moments, shared laughter, and steady devotion. In a world full of noise, they found their peace in each other. Eddie and Paige's peaceful love story proves that sometimes the quietest romances are the strongest. Now, let's head over to a Hollywood heavyweight whose love story became a true tale of resilience and second chances: Sylvester Stallone and Jennifer Flavin. Sylvester Stallone and Jennifer Flavin. Sylvester Stallone, the tough-as-nails star of Rocky and Rambo, found his real-life champion in Jennifer Flavin. With a 22-year age gap between them, their romance faced challenges, but it also proved unbreakable. Stallone once said, "She's been my rock, my anchor when everything else felt shaky." Their story began in 1988 when Stallone, already a Hollywood icon, met the young model Jennifer at a restaurant in Beverly Hills. Despite their different worlds, they bonded immediately. But the early years weren't all smooth. Stallone famously broke up with Jennifer via a 6-page letter in 1994, blindsiding her with the news he had fathered another woman's child. Yet fate had other plans. After some time apart, Stallone realized what he had lost. They reconciled, and in 1997, the two married in a small ceremony at the Dorchester Hotel in London. Together, they had 3 daughters, Sophia, Sistine, and Scarlett, who would each find their own spotlights in the worlds of modeling and entertainment. Through Stallone's career highs and personal lows, Jennifer remained his steadying force. She stood by him during public scrutiny, career setbacks, and personal tragedy. Stallone reflected, "Without her, I wouldn't have survived the storms." Their love story, full of hard lessons and heartfelt redemption, reminds everyone that true love doesn't mean being perfect. It means fighting for each other when the world gets tough. Nicolas Cage and Rico Shibata. Nicolas Cage, Hollywood's most unpredictable star, shocked the world when he married Rico Shibata in 2021. Their 31-year age gap raised plenty of eyebrows, but their love story isn't what people expected. Cage once said, "When I met Rico, everything just fell into place." They first met in Japan in early 2020, while Cage was visiting to explore rare artifacts. Their connection was instant, despite the language and cultural differences. During the pandemic, their bond only grew stronger, with Cage proposing via FaceTime and mailing her an engagement ring all the way to Japan. In February 2021, the couple tied the knot in an intimate Las Vegas ceremony. It was a beautiful mix of traditions. Rico wore a handmade Japanese bridal kimono, while Cage wore a Tom Ford tuxedo. Friends described the event as simple, personal, and filled with laughter. It was clear that despite the cynicism from outsiders, they were focused only on each other. Later, they welcomed their daughter, August Francesca, in 2022. Cage, who already had 2 older sons, embraced fatherhood once again in his late 50s. Speaking about his young wife, Cage said, "Rico is my salvation. She brought peace back into my life." Their relationship proves that when 2 hearts connect, age, distance, and doubts don't stand a chance. Nicolas Cage and Rico Shibata's story reminds us that love can blossom even in the most unexpected places and times. Now, let's move to another rock icon whose glamorous love life has always captured headlines: Rod Stewart and Penny Lancaster. Rod Stewart and Penny Lancaster. Rod Stewart, the legendary British rocker, finally found stability and lifelong love with Penny Lancaster. Despite a 26-year age difference, their love story shines bright. Rod once charmingly said, "She's the best thing that's ever happened to me, my angel without wings." Their first meeting was pure fate. Penny, an aspiring photographer, was assigned to take promotional photos of Rod during a tour in 1999. Their professional encounter soon turned into a romance. Penny was different, patient, calm, and unfazed by Rod's wild fame. That grounded nature is what won Rod over instantly. In 2007, after 8 years together, Rod proposed during a romantic trip to Paris. They married in a lavish yet intimate ceremony in Italy. Penny's elegance and Rod's signature playful spirit made them a perfect match. Together, they welcomed 2 sons, Alistair and Aidan, adding even more joy to their family life. Rod credits Penny with helping him heal and mature from his wilder younger days. He's said in interviews, "She taught me to be a better man." Even after decades in the spotlight, their bond remains strong, fueled by mutual respect, laughter, and an unshakable friendship that shines through every public appearance. Rod Stewart and Penny Lancaster prove that even the wildest rock stars can find their true soulmate when the timing is right. But now, get ready, because our next celebrity couple has an even bigger age gap, and their story stretches across continents. Let's talk about Mick Jagger and Melanie Hamrick. Mick Jagger and Melanie Hamrick. Mick Jagger, the Rolling Stones' unstoppable frontman, surprised the world when he began a relationship with ballerina Melanie Hamrick. With an astonishing 43-year age gap, their love story truly stands out. Jagger once said, "Life brings unexpected joys. Melanie is one of them." They first met backstage at a Rolling Stones concert in 2014. Melanie, a professional ballerina with the American Ballet Theatre, was immediately drawn to Mick's energy and charisma. Despite the obvious difference in age, they found comfort in each other's company during what was a very tough time. Mick was grieving the loss of his longtime partner, Elren Scott. Their connection deepened quickly. In 2016, Melanie gave birth to their son, Devereux Octavian Basil Jagger, when Mick was 73 years old. Friends noted that Mick, a father many times over, was as attentive and loving as ever with little Devereux, often calling him "my little ray of sunshine." While they've kept their relationship largely out of the public eye, Melanie has continued her dance career while raising their son. Mick, meanwhile, has remained active with the Stones, often flying Melanie and Devereaux out to join him on tour. Their story is living proof that love doesn't follow a schedule. Sometimes it surprises you when you need it most. Mick Jagger and Melanie Hamrick. Mick Jagger, the legendary frontman of the Rolling Stones, shocked the world when he began dating American ballerina Melanie Hamrick. With a jaw-dropping 43-year age gap between them, many were skeptical. Yet, as Mick once said in an interview, Melanie makes life lighter, and that's all I could ask for. They first met in 2014, shortly after the tragic death of Mick's longtime partner, Loren Scott. Melanie, a successful ballet dancer, was touring with the American Ballet Theatre. Their paths crossed backstage at a Rolling Stones concert, and what began as a quiet friendship soon evolved into something deeper. In December 2016, Melanie gave birth to their son, Devereaux Octavian Basil Jagger. At 73, Mick welcomed his 8th child into the world. Friends close to Mick say he was absolutely smitten with his new son, calling him a spark of joy during a difficult time in his life. Despite his touring schedule, Mick has made a consistent effort to be part of Devereaux's life. While Mick remains a global rock icon, Melanie continues to perform and choreograph in the world of ballet. The couple keeps a low profile, but their bond appears strong. Mick's transformation into a doting father once again, late in life, is a reminder that no matter the years, love and new beginnings are always possible. Mick Jagger and Melanie Hamrick show us that even rock legends can start surprising new chapters late in life. Speaking of iconic figures, let's now turn to another celebrity couple whose glamorous relationship has also defied the odds: Jason Statham and Rosie Huntington-Whiteley. Jason Statham and Rosie Huntington-Whiteley. Jason Statham, the tough guy action star, and Rosie Huntington-Whiteley, the stunning supermodel, are one of Hollywood's most eye-catching couples. Despite a 20-year age difference, their romance has only grown stronger over the years. Rosie once said in an interview, "Jason is my best friend. He's my safe place." They met at a party in London back in 2010. Rosie was only 22 at the time, fresh off her Victoria's Secret career, while Jason, at 42, was already a successful movie star. Their chemistry was instant, and they soon started appearing on red carpets together, charming fans with their down-to-earth relationship. After 6 years of dating, Jason proposed to Rosie in 2016 with a breathtaking diamond ring. They chose not to rush things, instead focusing on building a strong foundation for their future. In 2017, the couple welcomed their first child, a son named Jack Oscar Statham. Parenthood only strengthened their bond. Despite the spotlight, Jason and Rosie have kept their relationship private and genuine. Rosie once mentioned, "We're just two people who like each other's company." Their balance of fame and personal life, humor and respect is rare in Hollywood. Together, they've proven that when two people connect on a real level, age is truly just a number. And there you have it, 20 celebrity marriages where the age gap made jaws drop and headlines spin. Whether they found lasting love or faced huge challenges, these couples proved that when it comes to matters of the heart, society's rules don't always apply. Some romances ended in heartbreak, while others are still going strong today, reminding us that every love story is unique. Thanks so much for spending your time with us. If you enjoyed diving into these surprising and sometimes shocking Hollywood relationships, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the wild side of celebrity life. Which couple surprised you the most? Let's talk about it in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Until next time, stay curious, stay kind, and keep exploring the stories behind the stars.